All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Liu Chan, and it's such a pleasure for me to introduce and tour the obscure revolutionary invention, the ondol, which is otherwise known as the Korean traditional floor heating system. And here is a depiction of the exterior of the Korean traditional floor heating system. Well, granted, compared to prominent cultural heritages in Korea, the Korean traditional floor heating system is lacking magnitude as well as aesthetic beauty in some ways. And because these qualities are so conspicuous and catching to the public, it tends to overshadow intangible cultural heritages like the Korean traditional floor heating system. That's where the title obscure comes from. But perhaps one of the most attractive features and the characteristics of the Korean traditional floor heating system or any intangible cultural heritage is the significant meaning or the hidden meaning it has. For now, the genesis. It is speculated, according to record and reminiscence of materials that we used to build, that it originated from the Three Kingdoms period of South Korea. And we can also make inferences with the geographical representation over here, because in the northern hemisphere, during winters, temperatures will be significantly lower than the southern hemispheres. So we can conclude Korean traditional floor heating system as our ancestors' intuitive desire to fulfill their warmth. Now for the big part, the principle of the Korean traditional floor heating system. Although the interior that I showed you was really monochrome and simplistic, if you look at the interior, it's very complex, diligent, and we need thorough explanation. All right, but let's talk about the practicality. The Korean traditional floor heating system could have been done simultaneously with cooking. That is a big advantage in resources and also saving heat as well. We also have to note the initial pathway being located a little bit above the igniting area. That is because of a convection. If the cold breeze comes from the outside, then the heat air try to incline. So because we only want to capsulate the hot air, we purposely located the initial pathway a little bit above the igniting area. And remember, this was built 1 millennium year ago. Carrying on, we also have to take significance of those bumps. Those bumps prevented from cold breeze coming in and interacting with the hot air present inside. Well, heat loss is inevitable, but in order to minimize it, our ancestors purposely located 2 bumps close to the furnace and the chimney, where the cold breeze enters. We also have to look at the structure. As you can see, there's a little slope of the structure. It isn't parallel to the ground. That is because of transferring heat faster and keeping heat as much as possible because of the convection. Also, lastly, the flat rocks have a significant importance. Not only do they have high absorption of heat, their size is varied and correlated to the distance from the furnace. If they're closer, then they're thicker. If they're thinner, then it will mean that they're further away. So our ancestors want an equal distribution of temperature throughout. But scientific acknowledgement isn't just enough to just explain how brilliant this piece is. To find out the immaculate points, we have to look at thermodynamics as well. Well, for fair comparison, let's look at foreign heating systems. Foreign heating systems are usually fireplaces that are exposed directly to the ground. And what that does is initially it only heats the floor, heats the air. And this is where specific heat capacity comes. So heating the air requires much more energy than heating the stone below the Korean traditional floor heating system. Therefore, if you want to reheat it, or the heat will be gone when you're heating the air for a little amount of time. But if you're looking at the Korean traditional floor heating system, because the kudul, which is a specialized stone underneath, is very high absorption in heat and very radiant to heat, it can last for a long time and keep the heat throughout. To propagate the world with intangible cultural heritages of Korea, and to generally know and let the world know that how brilliant our culture and history is, I'll try my best to give elaborate speeches and tours throughout. Thank you.